Moment. If you're new, I'm going to be here live Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. And if you're coming back from last week, welcome back. And should be an exciting show today. So I just want to start with a few announcements first. You can check out, I set up a Facebook. If you type in search Take a Moment, it has my videos from last week's episode. I'm going to try to get those posted Friday, Saturday, so you'll be able to see the episode from last week. Go ahead and select me as a fan, and I'm going to be trying to put on questions for next week's topic. I'm also posting episodes on YouTube as well. If you check out my channel, type in Take a Moment, you should be able to find it. If you can't find it that way, type in Wolfwood86, that's my YouTube username, and I'm going to be posting episodes as by, like I said, Friday, Saturday on YouTube as well. And also my rerun tonight will be at 7 p.m. There's going to be other reruns throughout the week, but I know for sure that you'll have a rerun at 7 p.m., so tell your friends and family. You know, if you know people who are working who might be interested in the show, if they're working today and they want to catch it at night, you can catch a rerun. Also, if you have a local business or service and you're looking for affordable ad space on my show, I am looking for sponsors right now, so go ahead and call today or click the advertising link on CentralValleyTalk.com and let them know you'd like to sponsor Take a Moment. And so now that's it for announcements. I'm going to go ahead and dive into the show. As promised, I said I would continue talking about love. So we are going to talk today about Phila, which is the Greek word, Philadelphia, brotherly love. That's where that root comes from. Phila is one of the four ancient Greek words for love. Phila is translated friendship, although Aristotle's use of Phila in the Nicomachean Ethics is a lot more broad than that. I have some references here. I'm not going to bore you with the numbers of the references from the Nicomachean Ethics, but it's been described as young lovers even, lifelong friends, cities with one another, political or business contacts, parents and children, fellow voyagers, fellow soldiers, members of the same religion, or members of the same tribe. And then it says a cobbler and a person who buys from, but again, business partners, that kind of covers that there. So the term Phila that the Greeks use for friendship is different than what we use it as. Friendship is considered if you do business together even. And most people in our society would consider that acquaintances, things like that. But Aristotle breaks it down a little bit more because I think he realized that there's obviously huge distinctions between between these different things. The one thing I want to talk about right off the bat before we keep moving is I found it interesting that he put down that it's down there as same tribe. So I guess for us that would be same country, maybe same state. Maybe if you really want to break it down, same county, same city. You know, your microcosm. I just found it interesting that he talks about that they use the same word for friendship as they would use for same tribe. We were speaking about society, obviously. So I'm thinking from a broader point, our society. What do we consider our Phila? Do we consider our whole country that same tribe? I don't know. And that's kind of, again, that's what the show is looking at in a lot of broader ways. So all these different relationships involve getting along well with someone. Aristotle has different types of friendships. There's three general types that he divides it up in. And one is a friendship of utility. So it's, you don't really have that much regard for the other person. It's normally buying merchandise, selling merchandise, doing a business transaction, something that you're both receiving something of utility, but not much more. It's a really base level relationship. And if there's nothing else that keeps those two people together, that's really all they know each other for. Again, in modern English, we call us acquaintances, business partners, what have you. There's also, the next level is what he describes as a level of friendships of pleasure. Friendships of pleasure are based on just, I like hanging out with this person, We drink together, maybe we share a hobby together, pal around, if you play sports, your teammates maybe that you don't really know outside of your sport, if you don't hang out with them outside your sport, but you play sports with them, or, someone you are in a book club with, but you don't do anything else with them outside the book club. These are friendships of pleasure, you like hanging out with people. But once the activity's gone, or outside of the activity, you really don't know this person at all. The last one is a deeper friendship, and this is called friendship of the good, where these people are both friends and they enjoy each other's character. This is where you really get to know the person, you get to know who they are, what their family's like, what their dreams are, what their desires are. These are close-knit friendships to where we're friends because we're friends, because I care about you as another human being, because there's something about your character that syncs up with mine. There's something about your character that I enjoy. Oh, I know I'm kind of breaking up my thought. I just want to let you know, as you're watching, please feel free to ping in, if I'm not asking for ping-ins. I may not get to it right away, but feel free to, ping in. We're going to get the phone lines open in a little while, too, today, but that'll be a little bit later. So ping in your comments, questions, whatever you want to say. I'd like to talk about it on the show. Okay, let me keep going. It's possible for bad people, he said, and I'm going to read this whole quote. He said, "Now it is possible for bad people as well as good to be friends to each other for pleasure or utility, for decent people to be friends to base people, and for someone with neither character to be friends with someone with any character. Clearly, however, only good people can be friends to each other because the other person himself. For bad people find no enjoyment in one another if they get no benefit." Aristotle seemed to think that friendship of the good could only be possible, a real friendship of the good could only be possible between people who are both good, people who can both exhibit a concern and care for the other person. And he seemed to think that this also was incompatible with people who had, a negative character, couldn't, be friends with a person of a positive character, because the person who's negative character basically just drains the other person, and they're just getting stuff out of them. Once they can't get anything out of them, they're gone, and they don't care. I think everyone in one time or another in their life would exhibit this. You have a friend, you think you're good friends, you think everything, and all of a sudden they start leeching off of you, and you're like, well, man, this friend's leeching off of me. Oh no, but he just he or she just needs me, and they just need something, and they're okay, whatever. And eventually it starts to get to the point where all this person does every time you're around them is drain you. And this is what Aristotle's trying to talk about, that those friendships don't last. Those friendships aren't real friendships. And I think that it's important to distinguish the difference in our society. It's important to distinguish the difference, and it gives us a window into who we are. Real friendships, you give a little and you take a little. It's interesting that when talking about friendship, it's a lot of the same qualities you might talk about in a love relation, in a romantic love relationship, as far as concern for the other person, as far as not taking advantage of the other person, putting the other person needs above your own. It's just in a less emotionally pulling way, because you don't have the same type of attraction and these other sorts of things. The eroticism isn't there. Those sorts of things aren't there. But so nonetheless, being a true friend, when you're talking about purely platonic, oops, you're talking about just in that way, it still takes a level of selflessness, and it takes a level of, I care about you as a person because you either make me a better person, and it makes me a better person to be your friend. I make you a better person. I think far too often in our society, and I'm not trying to point fingers at people, because I think that we all do. I think that most people have some really good friends, but I think that maybe perhaps we don't have enough really good friends, and not that you need a ton, but I think that too often we leave our friendships at utility or at the pleasure level, because we are afraid of getting hurt. In much the same way we're afraid of getting hurt in romantic relationships. I think far too often there's a lot of friends that we could be, the friendship of the good type of friendship, the deep type of friendship, and have real good fellowship with other human beings. But we're too afraid of getting hurt, and we just keep it on surface level. You talk about things like small talk. Everybody knows what small talk is, and sometimes we just keep it at the base level. We just keep it at, it's just small talk. I don't really want to get to know this person that deep. And I think that hurts us. It's not even that we don't have a ton of those friendships. It's that we just really want those friendships sometimes. I don't know what it is. And that's the only thought I have is that.
Again, if you have other ideas, please ping in on why you think we don't want these friendships. I think that's the biggest question I'm asking. I think it's clear that we don't. Okay, this is going to be an interesting comment. Okay, how do you try to step up friendships? How do you try to step up friendships with male-female friends where no one gets the wrong idea? I'm guessing you mean like a male to female or female to male, depending on whatever side you're on, of that equation of just friends. I assume that's what you're talking about. Please tell me yes or no before I answer this question. I'll start answering, but tell me yes or no. And to that, I've experienced in my life some interesting dynamics for that. I've had some female friends that, we're just friends. Okay, cool. Yeah, let me answer this question as best I can. It's a very sticky question you're asking. I think it's really difficult. In my experience, the only time I've been able to actually have friendships of that nature without causing complications or confusion in a situation, whether it's on my side or on their side, whether I had feelings for them. I'm married now, so I don't have to deal with that as much as I used to. Whether I had feelings for them or they had feelings for me, I had trouble figuring that out. In my experience, the only time I've had success in that area is when it's been like a couples thing, like me and my wife are hanging out with our two friends that are dating, and I have, my wife's maid of honor, who was my wife's maid of honor. She's a great friend of mine, really good friend of mine. But again, if it was just the two of us hanging out, it would be awkward. It wouldn't be appropriate. Not that we have those types of feelings for each other, but even if the two of you can establish that, which I think is really difficult because attraction plays in, and even when you don't want it to, it seeps in sometimes. You spend enough time with somebody, you end up getting attracted to them. You're attracted to their personality. If they're have another type of attraction, then it can seep in, and this is where things like affairs happen because people blur the line too much. So I think it's a sticky situation. I want to continue talking about this, but do we need to go to break? Sean, are we okay? Yeah, we need to go to break right now. I'm going to continue talking about this after break, so please hold on. I'm going to finish that thought.
Hi, I'm Mike Briggs from Mike Briggs Properties. We have a wonderful space for lease in one of the newest buildings in the Tower District. If you've been thinking of opening a business or moving your existing business, nearly 1,200 square feet available in this beautiful Art Deco building. The Tower District is one of the most pedestrian areas in Fresno.